What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 16, and we start today's episode off with a game against Everton here, back at the Riverside Stadium in the Premier League, coming on the back of our fantastic 2-1 victory over Spurs away at White Hart Lane in the last game in the last episode. Of course, the January transfer window did end in the last episode as well. Our final signing was Callum Wilson, who scored that winner as well on his debut, as we did indeed beat Spurs in our last game. So coming to this game then, our first of today's episode, taking on Everton here. We lost to Ronald Koeman's side in a reverse fixture at Goodison Park, and the first chance did fall to Everton as well. A good save by Valdez, though, kept the score at 0-0. Adama had our first chance of the game, that shot hitting the top of the bar and going behind for a goal kick. But it was a game of few chances, really. Very little creative from both sides in the entire game. But 10 minutes after the restart, there was a good chance for us to open the lead here and break the deadlock. Valdez threw the ball to Adama, who dummied the ball through his legs and sprinted down the right-hand side. He crossed the ball to the far post, looked for our Uruguayan playmaker Gaston Ramirez. He found him, but I couldn't keep the shot down, and that acrobatic effort went way over the bar and behind for a goal kick. And the final chance fell as well with 6 minutes to go. Ross Barkley found James McCarthy. Heinz blocked his shot, but it came straight back to McCarthy, who found Yannick Bolasie, and what an opportunity that was for the former Crystal Palace winger to give Everton all 3 points late on. He couldn't hit the target though. He dragged his shot wide, and the game did finish 0-0. So the unbeaten streak does get extended to 5 games now in the Premier League. I'm pleased with that. Another clean sheet notched up as well. But another game where we failed to score. I've said that quite a few times this season. Once again, not creating enough in front of goal and not taking the chances is a big problem for us. But you know, it's all about perspective at the moment. There's been some positives in these games. There's been some negatives in these games. And in the end, I have to just be grateful for the point, really, as we could have lost it late on had Bolasie converted that chance where he really should have done. There was so much of the goal to aim at there, but instead he dragged his shot wide of the post. So 0-0 the final score, and I briefly touched on it there. This season's been all about perspective, really. There's been a lot of results this year which haven't really gone our way. We haven't capitalised and gained maximum points, but there's been positives to take from them, and that's why I'm going to remain optimistic. Yes, we failed to score. Yes, we failed to win. Our form of late has been quite inconsistent, but we're still in the top 4 right now, so I don't mind those draws as things stand because it keeps us in a European place. Still, for the second game of today's episode here, we will take on Mark Hughes' Stoke City in the FA Cup round of 16. Now, of course, in the previous 2 rounds against Aston Villa and Port Vale, I fielded pretty weak sides, but coming into this one, I did decide to pick a strong first 11. There were a few changes, yes, but still quite a strong lineup out there as we try to progress to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. First couple of chances fell to the away side though. First, Brad Guzan bailing me out with a good save, but then 3 minutes before the break here, as Afellay tries to cut inside, we get the ball back with Espinosa after the tackle, but I completely surrendered possession like an idiot, trying to play out from the back. Glenn Johnson hustled, won the ball back for Stoke City, and the former Liverpool right back rolled inside towards Wilfried Bony, and the Ivorian on loan from Manchester City makes it 1-0 to the away side. So a terrible decision from me there. Guzan possibly could have done better with a shot. It was pretty much straight at him and not with much power either, but he was pretty close to the goal there, Bony, so we won't assign the blame to the goalkeeper, but the defending for me was terrible. I tried to pass out from the back with Espinosa. That was neither the time nor the place for that. I should have just hoofed it, gave it away, and instead, that's why Stoke City got themselves in front. So I only have myself to blame for being behind at the break. Stoke City were looking good in the first half and deservedly in front as well, as they led by a goal going into the second half. And in the second half as well, the first chance fell 15 minutes after the restart. Adam Clayton off the bench played a 1-2 aside of Berahino and did the exact same thing once again once he got close to the goal. Eventually it was played inside the area, went for goal, but Butler made the save and turned the shot behind for a corner. So still 1-0. From that corner across the wing to the centre, Butler came for it, got nowhere near it, and Dominic Heinz could not hit the target with the header as went off target behind for a goal kick. So once again the problems reoccurring, not doing enough in front of goal when we create the chances, and with 12 minutes to go, Stoke City had the chance to wrap the game up and secure their progress into the quarterfinals, and they would do so as well. And once again, it was pretty diabolical defending from me. Barragan came across to try to take the ball off the number 32, but he skipped around our Spanish right back, and once he started coming inside, it was so frustrating, but I was controlling Dominic Heinz and I had Daniel Ayala there as well. As I held down the R1 button, I was trying to get Ayala to go towards the number 32. Instead, I think it was signalling Barragan to come across instead, but he was way behind. He was never going to catch up. So Ayala came towards the man I was trying to mark up manually with Dominic Heinz. So a bit of a catastrophic error then once again from me defensively for the second time in the game, and again, it results in a Stoke goal. So final score was Middlesbrough 0, Stoke City 2. They get the win and progress to the quarterfinals. We are out of the FA Cup. The winnable competition, which was a winnable competition for us, no doubt about it, has now gone, and we'll have to concentrate all of our energy now on the Premier League, which is totally fine. As I say, sometimes when we exit a cup competition, it could prove to be a blessing in disguise, and I actually thought we played okay in that game as well, not too bad whatsoever, but again, the problems really were defensively. I was all over the place, and for the second goal as well, you can see there, what I was trying to do was get Ayala to go towards the number 32. Instead, it was Barragan going towards him, so I let go of the R1 button, put it back on again, and by the time I did that, it was far too late. Ayala came across, the number 32 took it round him, and then found the back of the net. So poor defending from me once again, and a question for you guys as well today: how do you find defending in FIFA 17? Are you better than FIFA 16 or worse than FIFA 16? I've read a lot of comments and tweets from you guys saying you can't defend this year at all, you're really struggling, and it's a big problem for you. But for me personally, despite that game being a rare blip in my opinion where I was all over the place, usually I'm pretty solid at the back. You know, that game probably not the best example really. I was atrocious for both the goals Stoke scored, and both of them were my fault, no doubt. But you know, for the most part, I feel as though I defend a lot better this year, and I defended quite well last year as well, no doubt about that. So I think defensively for me, I think I've improved a little bit from last year. Again, the game was a little bit ironic that I'd be saying that after that game because it was so poor from me. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, how do you defend in FIFA 17? Are you better this year? Are you worse this year? Let me know in the comment section down below, because it's interesting to know that a lot of you guys seem to be struggling this year, whereas for me, I seem to find it pretty easy. Maybe that's just my personal experience, I don't know. But let me know in the comment section down below anyway, how you guys find defending in this year's FIFA. Still, for the third and final game of today's episode here, we would return to the Premier League, back in action in the league, hoping to get back to winning ways as well, and get ourselves the 3 points here as we took on Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park. First chance fell to Pardew's men, but Valdez made a good save, and it was still 0-0. But in the 90th minute, though, we would open the scoring through Gaston Ramirez, finding the bottom corner from a free kick, as I scored my first free kick goal in FIFA 17. Menendez won it. I got Menendez to stand next to Ramirez for the free kick as well. Maybe that perplexed the wall, because they all turned their backs on Ramirez's shot, which crept into the bottom corner and found the back of the net. So a perfectly placed free kick from Gaston Ramirez finds the bottom corner. The goalkeeper Mandanda can't get there on time. He did get a fingertip to it, but couldn't keep it out, and Gaston Ramirez opens the scoring and gives us the goal. And when we've been struggling in front of goal this season, we need a goal scorer. Well, Gaston Ramirez has now 5 goals in the Premier League. He's been a pretty good player for us this season, no doubt about it. We've had some underperformers this year, but he has not been one of them. So 1-0 to Middlesbrough, but unfortunately for us, we couldn't hold on to the lead going into half-time. Johan Cabaye would level the score for Crystal Palace and make it 1-1. They breached our defence, played the ball across the face of the penalty area, and there was the number 7 arriving with the first time finish to find the back of the net and prevent Valdez from getting another Premier League clean sheet. So Cabaye with the goal, the French midfielder finds the back of the net, and again, a nice little build up here, punching holds the ball up well, plays it across towards Cabaye, and unfortunately I couldn't get across to Derone on time as Cabaye finds the back of the net. So 1-1, Palace back on level terms, and no less than they deserved as well. They have played quite well in the first half, and they did deserve their equalising goal. But in the second half here, pretty much instantly, we won the ball back and gave it to Gaston Ramirez, who scored in the first half. But unfortunately, he'd take a tumble after a good challenge there, stay on the floor, and eventually be forced off with injury. So not good to see our Uruguayan attacking midfielder get injured there, and eventually he would leave the pitch. But just past the hour mark, Crystal Palace would take the lead for the first time in the game as well, and what a goal they'd score through Johan Cabaye. He scored in the first half, scores in the second half as well, and no real surprise, he runs to the sidelines after that stunning strike to celebrate with Alan Pardew on the sidelines. And of course, those two worked together at Newcastle. He then got sold to PSG, Cabaye, but Pardew brought him back to English football at Palace, and what a goal that was. It was so good. Victor Valdez was statuesque after the goal. He couldn't believe it. He was frozen in motion. He was just completely stunned still. He couldn't move after the goal. What a strike by Johan Cabaye into the top corner, and Valdez, who's been in inspired form this season, is not going to stop that one. A sensational strike, and it's Crystal Palace 2, Middlesbrough 1. But with just a few minutes to go, how about this? 5.5 minutes left on the clock. We needed someone to come off the bench and get us a goal. That's exactly what happened against Spurs, and it's exactly what happens here against Crystal Palace as well, because late on in the game, Callum Wilson once again gets subbed onto the pitch and rescues us and gets us a point in this one. So of course he won the game at White Hart Lane against Spurs. In this one ensures we won't lose this game, and our unbeaten streak will get extended. here as he scores his second goal in a Middlesbrough shirt in 3 sub appearances off the bench. And I've got to say right now, man, seriously, I am really liking this guy already. I said in the last episode, Callum Clutch Wilson, that's what he was known as on my Football Manager save for those that watched that last year, because he kept on scoring in late game situations. And I mean, we're 3 games in since Wilson's been here. He's came off the bench 3 times, and in 2 of those scored late goals and important goals as well. A game winner against Spurs, and then this goal here, linking up with Saido Berahino, subs linking up, he managed to rescue us a point and extend our unbeaten run. So absolutely delighted with that. And you saw the stats there. We didn't deserve anything from this game. Palace were far superior to us. They deserved the 3 points, but instead Callum Clutch Wilson coming up big late on once again. That was a story in my FM save so many times, and maybe we'll be seeing it happen a lot in this FIFA series as well. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, Gaston Ramirez did sprain his ankle in that game, as you did see. He's going to be out for 3 weeks, so very disappointing indeed, because I touched on it during the game. Gaston Ramirez has been one of our best players this season, no doubt about that. So to see him get injured for 3 weeks is a big blow. And also Barragan got a training injury as well and will be out for 7 days. So to end today's episode off, you can take a look at the squad report right here, and you'll take a look at the league table as well. No wins in today's episode, but as you'll see the league table in just a moment's time, we are still in the top 4 as we approach the final stages of the season. So it's crazy to think we're still in the Champions League place right now, because, you know, we haven't really been doing too well in the league of late. You know, we've only won a couple of games in our last 10, 11 matches. So to think that we're still in the top 4 right now is crazy. But as you'll see the league table in just a moment's time, it's been a bizarre season. It really has been. There's just no one's got away. You know, no one's got away in this year's Premier League season. And because of that, I still have no idea where we're going to end up finishing, because we could finish in the top 4 come the end of the season. We could be Premier League champions come the end of the season. We could finish just outside the Champions League places and in the Europa League place come the end of the season. We could finish in mid-table or finish in the bottom half. It's just so congested right now. It is so tight. It promises to be a crazy final 13 and 12 games. But that will end today's episode in the FIFA 17 career mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please do leave a like. Likes are of course much appreciated, and it really helps the channel grow as well. Much love to you, and have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode in the FIFA 17 career mode very soon.